When you look at the TI-99-4, it's not hard to see why Texas Instruments didn't last very long in the computer market. Released in 1979, most other home computers could be hooked onto a TV, but the casually named TI-99/4 could only be connected to its own display, which happened to be a 13-inch Zenith TV. Factor in its tiny keys and ability to type only in capital letters, and the $1,150 price tag, and Texas Instruments were quickly hounded out of the market. Is the AMSTRAD emailer even a computer? Perhaps that question was the problem when it was released by Alan Sugar's AMSTRAD in the year 2000. This home telephone combined with a microcomputer was said to be perfect for sending emails to friends, family and business associates. Of course, given that most home phones were placed very near the home computer in order to share the phone line, the AMSTRAD emailer was almost completely obsolete from day one. Despite its failings, the company persisted with it, and Sugar's obsession with his failed product even forced the CEO to resign in 2001. I shouldn't laugh, but in the UK he's still very respected as a businessman, and you forget that he does stuff like this. The emailer has since been discontinued, along with support for the internet and email parts of the phone, which means if you've got one now, it's useless. Apple's first attempt at a GUI-based business computer isn't much to look at, but it was incredibly powerful for a machine that was made in 1983. Boasting a 7 MHz processor, 1 MB of RAM and a hard drive, it would have been successful were it not for the $10,000 price tag. The COLECO Atom was a home computer which could play ColecoVision games and was all set to be the must-have computing gadget over Christmas of 1983. However, the system was so full of catastrophic bugs that it forced COLECO to move out of the home computing market just a year later. The tape drives were unreliable, a power supply was placed in the printer for some unknown reason, and the Atom even released an electromagnetic surge on startup, which could completely wipe discs or tapes that had been left in it. Can you imagine having a computer that would just destroy DVDs or USB sticks plugged into it? That's you probably don't know what CDs are. The internet. Life has changed. The company's advertising slogan, "Dude, you've got a DELL," became something of a sick joke for many DELL customers. In 2003, this machine, which was found in schools right across the world, came fully featured with a power supply which broke down just after the warranty elapsed, meaning that many people were left with an incredibly expensive paperweight. Anyone who owns a modern MacBook will be shocked to meet its Frankenstein's monster of an ancestor. The Mac Portable was released in 1989 and was another technically proficient machine which was fast, adaptable and ahead of the curve. Unfortunately, at almost £17, it wasn't very portable, meaning that people stuck to their desktop machines. Netbooks were touted as the future of casual computing when they released in 2007, but were ultimately found to be too slow, too small and too hard to see, and most came without a CD drive, which was, as I say, the most heinous of crimes back in 2007, whereas these days, CDs, why would you ever bother? They might have been cheap though, netbooks, but it mostly wasn't worth the hassle. After the roaring success of the Commodore 64, which is still one of the finest examples ever of home computing, Commodore released a sprightly business model as their next big thing. The Commodore 128, I see what they did there, featured an 80-column display, 2 dedicated processors, a mode which ensured compatibility with all of your favourite Commodore 64 games, but unfortunately no one wanted it. They wanted more of the same, flashy graphics, fantastic games. Commodore lost a lot of business to the Amiga, which delivered exactly that. The Apple III was basically the Apple II, but redesigned for businesses. Steve Jobs was fervent in his design demands, insisting that the computer not use a cooling fan, instead using the aluminium case as a heatsink. Yeah, this was a catastrophic mistake. With so many components crammed into a tiny case and with inadequate cooling, the Apple III was known to warp circuit boards and pop chips out. All that for only $7,000. Bargain! When greeted with the tough choice of what to name the worst home or business computer ever made, it's best to just point an accusing finger at everything which came out of Dutch company PACKARD Bell during the 1990s. Infamous for their shoddy design and penchant for selling exactly the same machine but rebranded in slightly different boxes, PACKARD Bell enjoyed a long run at the very bottom of the home computing barrel throughout the 1990s. Not only that, between 1994 and 1995, they would sell old parts as new, leading to 1 in every 6 PACKARD Bell computers being returned, more than twice the average for the industry. PACKARD Bell was sued for millions of dollars but still make computers today, trading as a subsidiary of Taiwanese brand Acer. So, you can get away with a lot of things in this world, providing you're a business that makes lots of money.